What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is freaking massive. We finally got some information from the Splitgate developers about the upcoming playtests and what they are currently working on for the future of this overall game. And let me tell you guys something, it's nothing to take lightly. It's a lot of juicy details here. First and foremost, this playtest is only going to be for PC players, so on Steam. And they're going to be taking place on Friday, August 29th, and Saturday, August 30th. On Friday, it's going to be from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. So for me personally, it's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Saturday, it's going to be 10 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And for me, that's going to be around, I think, 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, I'm going to be going ahead and trying to stream both of these playtests. I don't know about Friday because that is pretty late, but Saturday, 1010% is going to be a guaranteed stream. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow me over on Twitch. I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. We're going to be grinding it out and giving our live impressions while we go ahead and play it. But boy, oh boy, guys, as I stated, we have a lot of stuff to go ahead and discuss. First and foremost, yes, indeed, the factions are getting removed from this overall playtest. And again, keep in mind, none of this stuff is guaranteed to be pushed into the official launch when the playtests are done. But for the time being, this is what they're going to be testing out. And they left a few bullet points here on what they're going to be hyper-prioritizing. First and foremost, weapon and equipment restrictions have been lifted. You can now mix and match freely between weapons and equipment. Secondly, perks have been reworked. Redundant options have been removed so that each remaining perk has a stronger identity. And thirdly, additionally, a third perk slot has been added. With each slot containing unique perks, you will have more ways to shape your loadout around the way you want to play. Honestly, I gotta be real with you guys, I'm very excited to see this now. Personally, when I was playing with the classes, I'm gonna call them the specialists, whatever you want to, discuss, whether it's Meridian, Zabrask, Arrows, I enjoyed it during the time, but this right here does not sound bad. This sounds very exciting, and again, it sounds like they're really trying to tap into that Splitgate 1 marketplace, which is a great thing to do. You don't want them to lose their identity, and this right here will hopefully reshape that identity, allowing people to pick whatever weapons they want to go ahead and mess around with, picking, whichever perks, so on and so forth, and of course, it's going to be reworked in a certain way. All I gotta say is I hope I can use the slide perk no matter what, seriously, or either that or make the slide perk a permanent addition into the game. That's just the default slide, because I'm telling you right now, I will die on this hill. The slide perk is the best thing ever invented within Splitgate. But still, regardless, this should be very fun to go ahead and test out. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, not only are they removing the factions from this game, but they're also removing the faction abilities. So basically, their ults, whether it's Hypersight, Rush, or the Smart Wall. Yes, you heard that correctly. They're being stripped from the overall game. Again, I don't know what to say about this until I can actually get hands-on. But from what I saw personally, I feel like the abilities have always been not the most controversial thing within Splitgate 2, but definitely in the top 3 to top 5 controversial things. Everybody is either on board or they're absolutely despising them. Personally, I think that this might be a good change because, again, it will bring Splitgate back to that core arena foundation where it's not about the abilities, but more so about how good you are with your weapon, map knowledge, and also, when it comes down to the most important factor of this game, portal placement. So again, we'll see how it turns out, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this down in the comment section of this video. Next up, the map. So of course, don't think this is going to be any map overhauls when it comes to the looks of the overall map, but when it comes down to portal placements, yes, they're going to be revamping them a bit, and I'm curious how far they're actually going to go. I think it was Bypass was the map. You can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section, but I think it was Bypass was the previous map that they edited and added more portal placements, and I think that was a perfect in-between, and I hope they kind of stick to that formula. Don't go above and beyond and make it absolutely ridiculous so casual players are afraid. But a little bit more freedom is never a bad thing. And just so you guys know, the maps that they're going to be reworking for this playtest will be Academy, Core, Eden, Frontier, and Grit. And one last time, just remember, it's not going to be the visual look of the map. It's just going to be some additional portal placements, or maybe even moving around some portals to make the flow a tad bit better. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a massive, absolutely massive change happening to Split Ball. The person who is holding the Split Ball no longer can portal. Now, people might say this is nothing crazy, but seriously, this is a big deal. 9 times out of 10, out of all of your split ball matches, if you're versing, very competent players, people who are consistent with, Splitgate 2. The second they pick up that ball, they're out. I mean, you have to be on top of them. Seriously, at the top tier, top 100 placement when it comes to ranked. And probably even under that as well, because a lot of people are getting better and better with the portals as time goes on. If you are not there and present when either A, they are on the brand new split ball that spawns in, or B, at your home base when they're about to steal one of your own split balls, if you're not there and ready to take them down, the second they go through the first portal, it's over. I mean, it's boop, bop, beep, they're at their home base now. It's that quick. So I think that this is a good change, and the devs did say themselves that from testing it out, it seems like it's a lot more team play, and instead of it being, okay, how quick can I get this ball from point A to point B, it's now, okay, now we have someone who is holding on to this ball, they're defenseless unless they drop it, we want them to keep that momentum up to get back to our home base, we got to defend them, we got to stick around them. Whereas before, as I stated, you don't really got to play defense around the person who has split ball, like I said, they just portal all around and get back to home base. So I think that this change up in game flow will be phenomenal for the overall game mood and should make it a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot more competitive. The next thing we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is changes to the time to kill. They did say it's a tad bit fast right now to the point where basically if anybody gets a flank on you, it's very hard to go ahead and react. Now, of course, if you are a very high-skilled player, you know the sound cues and all that stuff, so you'll be able to, whip around and get ready for gunfights, but still, it's not always a guarantee. So what they did is they changed the time to kill and slowed it down by about 20%, they said. And they also stated that it might sound like a lot, but it actually is not. But it should be just enough to allow for that, extension in life to allow you to combat someone who's getting a quick little flank on you, or just to allow, more gunfights to be a bit more drawn out instead of, whoever sees who first instantly melts them and you call it a day. I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of like the time to kill. It's pretty crispy, but at the same time, I definitely see where they're coming from. So, again, we'll test it out. We'll see how it is, and we'll give our feedback when we actually go ahead and dive on deep. After that, they also mentioned about working on recoil. They have a few bullets here. The first one says, automatic weapons now feature upward-only recoil patterns. No more erratic up-down bouncing. Secondly, slightly reduced recoil across all weapons. And third, every weapon received individual tuning passes for better feel. They also stated, the old recoil system was notoriously jumpy. We didn't fully realize how annoying it was until we fixed it. There are a lot of little things we'll be testing and optimizing in the upcoming playtests, and we feel like this change is an amazing start. I'm actually really excited to feel this, because personally, I got really used to how the guns feel in this game, but if they fine-tuned it and made it feel even smoother, I'm very pumped to see how this is going to turn out. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be putting a much bigger focus on the core arena-style modes. Things like King of the Hill, Domination, TDM. Of course, we're going to have our round-based modes like Split Ball still within the overall title. But for the massive majority of the game, that is going to be the priority. Arena, one-round style modes, not multiple different rounds switching things up. I do want to say, though, I kind of liked it. I know it's a very odd take. I kind of liked, having pauses in between matches of like Domination, for example, or something like that. That allows you to kind of recoup and come back a little bit. Because what I noticed is that a lot of the time when a really good team is starting to, really whoop butt, they continue to do so. It's like the snowball effect. You know what I'm saying? Once they gain that momentum, it's not stopping. As long as they're still flowing, once they get in that flow state, it's over. But when you gave forced pauses, I noticed myself being able to come back from a lot more different engagements. In every other game I play, that's not the case. As I stated, once a team starts, building that momentum, 9 times out of 10, it's pretty much a GG in the chat. But when I had those breaks in between, I noticed that I was able to actually get some good plays. The enemy team didn't seem as coordinated sometimes. I don't know. I didn't really mind it too much, but again, I agree with everybody else. I don't mind one-round modes, and I think that the focus around these arena type of modes will be very good for the overall health of Splitgate 2. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all we have for basically everything they're testing within the first overall play session. Keep in mind, guys, these changes aren't coming right when this is done. I know people are probably going to think, oh, we're finally here. That means this change is coming right away. No, we're testing things out. So when the play session is over, both of them on Friday and Saturday, it's not like the game is changing, right? We're going right back to the original Splitgate 2, and we're going to be playing what we've been playing. But this is a good step in the right direction. I'm glad these play tests are starting to come out. But I will say, I hope they can find a way to introduce console players into, being able to try out these play tests. I understand it's a little bit easier on Steam because, they can basically allow the Steam players to go into the application and change around certain files to make sure it's the beta form. For console, it might be a bit more complex, but I hope that sometime down the road before they officially launch, they can get console players in there to be able to give their feedback as well. But again, console players, don't forget, we will have all the information here on the channel. So, of course, make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled. We'll be discussing it all, and you guys can still formulate your ideas and opinions down in the comment section below. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 morning Eastern Time. Everything between Splitgate, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Arc Raiders. I've been discussing some Gears of War and pretty much any other shooter that, kind of sparks my interest. And sometimes we do double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So, as I stated, subscribe and hit that bell so you can stay notified on everything that goes live. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget, guys, I will be streaming both these playtests. So if you guys want to tune on in, see my live impressions, and even just chat it up or hop into the open lobbies if you guys have it on Steam, then by all means, you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.